living in a down economy, how to cope and survive after depleted your emergency funds. Hi everybody, I am Homestead Tessie. Today I'd like to share with you a little bit of how we are coping and surviving when we had some emergency situations that happened in this year. Depleting our emergency funds, but what can we do to build them back? And what are my thoughts on the down economy and what can we all do in today's episode? You know, I was thinking about a lot of things and I thought I would just turn the camera on and talk to all of you. Do you really think the economy is going to get better? Do you think that by the fall things are going to be a lot better, or do you think they're going to be worse? You know, there's a lot of videos out there, you know, and majority of them say it's going to get worse. And, you know, it's really hard to know what is going to happen with the world. I am seeing that there's such price increases, and it's very disheartening and it's very disappointing to see, you know, people, you know, really struggling to make ends meet. I think that the hard thing is when years are good, we tend to forget that years could be bad again. And even for me, you know, in the years that I had really good, I took it for granted that I thought all of my years would be good again. And it just didn't work that way. I have good years and bad years, and that's how it is, especially if you're self-employed. But one of the lessons I really learned with it is to always have a little bit of a savings. Now, this year, I had major expenses. So we had a hospital that was over $4,000, and then we had a tree that was $2,500. So that really put a big dent into our emergency fund. So that's where some of our emergency fund went. And we still have some, but it's really hard to make that money up. One thing I noticed is it's hard to make money back up when you spend it. It's so easy to spend money, but to make it up, especially in this economy, is even harder. So it's like, well, can we add an extra $100 this month for our emergency fund? And it used to be, can we add $200 or $300 each month for our emergency fund? Can we put money in our emergency fund no matter what? And so, you know, $5 here, $5 there. It's those kind of things. And I think what I learned is I am substituting convenience for saving. So before, you know, if it was convenient, I would maybe buy the laundry soap or buy the dish soap or buy the cleaners and, you know, buy these things. And a big thing for me was seeing things on other YouTubers on their channels, like buying stuff, and I'd think, oh, I want that. So, you know, I'm being honest with you. And for me, it was books. Oh, I love books. I mean, I should be a librarian because I love books. And if I could be a librarian, I wouldn't have to spend the books and I could be surrounded by as many books as I possibly want. But maybe someday I'll be. I did help at the library when I was a young girl, but I don't know. I just think sometimes, you know, we're all led to believe something that may or may not happen. And I think that we just need to be proactive in our own lives. And this is a lesson that I am sharing with all of you because there were times I maybe wasn't as proactive as I should have been as far as when the paycheck was better. But, you know, it's life, you know, and we're going to all make mistakes, you know, through life, different. And I'm young enough yet to try to remedy my mistakes, even though, you know, what would I do different? What I would do different was I wouldn't spend as much on Amazon, and I wouldn't have probably got so much food that I did. I love buying food, but you know, you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars when you have a full pantry. So back in 2020, when COVID hit, everybody was doing these big food pantry hauls, you know, stock up with 50 pounds of rice and sugar and salt and flour, and it's so much fun. I love it. I loved getting big bulk items and then putting them in little jars, and I had to buy the jars to put them in, and I love it sitting and setting on my counter, so pretty. I loved all of that, and you know, we're using it, so it wasn't like it was disposable and we had to throw it away, but it's like I wouldn't have done that. I don't think I would be prepping like I did. I mean, I do believe in food storage and I do videos on food storage, but I don't think I would be prepping to the point where I was doing back then, like massive amounts of food, like massive. There's only so much you can eat and so much you can give away, and then it becomes tiring to clean, you know, keep it always clean and all the jars and organizing. And so these days I rather just sit and enjoy looking at my garden and not being in the kitchen canning hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of quarts of food each year. But with all the tomatoes I have, I might be canning some. I'll be doing some more dehydrating. So what do you think? You think we're gonna all survive this? Or do you think that it's gonna get worse? Do you think it's gonna get better? I don't know. I just know that in the past when things got expensive, I don't think they ever got much better. I think expenses stayed. Oh my word, I gotta tell you a story. So my husband loves Martin's bread. Now I do most of my baking, but once in a while he'll buy a loaf of Martin's bread. The bread bag was the same, but the loaf was smaller. And I know this is old news, but it's getting more and more where you think you're paying, it's the same price, but it was smaller. The cereal, oh my word. He got a box of Cheerios for $7. He opened it up, and I'm not kidding you, there was only like this much Cheerios in the box. That's crazy. It's just so crazy. It used to be that ground beef was expensive, so you could buy chicken. Well, now chicken is very expensive, depends on where you live. The egg prices have come down a little bit, depending on the store. They're still $7, $8 a dozen in some stores. And so, yeah. It's just crazy the price of things, and you gotta get really inspired on making food that is cheap. But you can do it. I have videos sharing with all of you. I'm very blessed because I'm surrounded by a lot of women that are retired, and it's so much fun. So I've established some great friendships with people that I've been here, you know, longer than me. And also I have a new neighbor, and she is amazing. She's an older woman who is retired and fixing up the house, and it's so much fun because we got to spend some time with her. So I am really blessed and amazed at how my neighborhood is starting to take shape, and it's beautiful people, and I'm having so much fun. We have lots of new neighbors that are coming in as the older neighbors unfortunately pass away, but the neighborhood is so peaceful and quiet. I absolutely love it. Well, take care everyone, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Know you've been a good friend, and that's in the thick and thin.